Yeah, welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Social entrepreneurship is an approach by individuals, groups, startup companies, or entrepreneurs in which they develop, fund, and implement solutions to social, cultural, or environmental issues. In Nigeria, that space has become really busy in recent times. And one of those who have made that busy is Ashoka, which is one of the largest network of leading social entrepreneurs operating in the country. Their latest activity is tagged Everyone a Change Maker Movement and is done with Ashoka Young Change Maker Program, which targets teens between the ages of 12 and 20. We have their global vice president of Ashoka now, Pape Sam, joining us to tell us what this is about. Good morning, Mr. Sam. I think the first thing would be to say congratulations on the launch of your program, Everyone a Change Maker. Even though we're not there, it would be good to know what that is all about and some of the things you achieved at that launch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me this morning. The Everyone a Change Maker movement is a movement that Ashoka has started worldwide. And as you said about the social entrepreneurship, Ashoka started in 1980, where we started electing leading social innovators. And those are what we call the Ashoka Fellows. And these are people who come up with new ideas, people who change system, people who replicated their model, people who are really solving social problems with their own dimes. So we have done that from the 80s to the 90s. And then we realized pretty much that we are electing only one social innovators, leading social innovators are outside of 1 million people. So we said, if really this world, the rate of change, how it's going in this world, the change is happening every second in this world, and we are not creating solutions every second in this world. What is the best way really to outrun the rate of problem creation with the rate of solution creation? Meaning, how can we make sure that we create more solutions than problem, or as many solutions that problems exist? That's when we decided the only way to do that is to make sure that every single human being becomes a change maker. Every person becomes a change maker. And that means that young people, adult people, anybody really has the power, the skills, the resources, the tool to be able to create change in their own communities. And that's what the Everyone a Change Maker movement is about.
Great, Mr. Sam. And of course, I know you emphasize that the change we want is the positive change and not just the change. Yeah, could you briefly highlight some of the initiatives and the benefits for people who become part of this Ashoka Young Changemaker AYC program?
Yeah, just to start maybe with some of those things, like we have, I'll take two profiles. We have Deborah Benjamin, and then we have Godwin Kevin. So Deborah Benjamin is a young change maker, really committed to create a safe environment for young people from sexual violence. And what she wants to do is really to help them make a better decision about their sexual safety through advocacy, through training, through empowering. And she uses community leadership to come up with creative sex education and design thinking to help them not just stay safe from their sexual abuse, but to also create sustainable solutions to gender-based violence, self-esteem, building other related social problems. So that's really what Deborah is doing. And she's really changing her own community. She's really supporting her community. She's really changing other young girls. And we have Kevin. Kevin is a young change maker working on making sure that access to opportunity for young people is available. And he's committed to connecting young people to available resources, for example, training and engagement that helps them become individuals that desire change and working toward that change to make that change happen. But also, like you said, to create youth engagement for positive change. So these are two young people who are really making change. And why this is really important for everybody, for everyone. So you look at it, you see that, right now, what we did was just we launched the movement. But we need to create what we call a core group, a core revolutionary group. This means from next-gen leaders, the next leaders of companies, from media, from publisher, from teachers, teacher unions, from school, from governments, and from youth as well, which is the young change makers. Everyone needs to understand the new game. And the new game is really how to address this new inequality, how to really face this new reality. The new reality is that we have them versus us. So everywhere you're saying that people are saying, oh, these people have more and we don't have anything, or these people are taking this, we don't have anything. So we need to create a framework, which Ashoka is doing, of empathy. How do we care about each other? Teamwork, how do we collaborate? Change makings, how do we challenge the status quo? What we see and it doesn't change, how do we challenge it? And a new leadership, and the new leadership is really what we call co-leading. So everybody leads together. And this is why it's important for everyone, for communities, for families, for schools, for companies. If we really don't understand this, we'll be left behind, and meaning that at some point we'll be pointed and there will be created the new inequality, and it's a new reality that everybody needs to face. So it's important for everyone to strive together, to work together, to grow together.
Yeah, so you mentioned two words or phrases that caught my attention there. The first is, you just mentioned that the inequality, which is one thing that the world is, actually trying to, reduce the inequality in the world, both for income and for gender. And then you also mentioned the new game. So tell us about this new game you're talking. What is that about, and how can businesses stay ahead of this new game? Then we'll go to the inequality.
Yes. So the new game, like I said, is really the new framework that we need to work on. Business needs to understand that their employees are their first clients. They have families. They have to deal with regular problems. They have to be empathetic. They have to teach their kids to understand where they're going to be successful in life. Because the life that we know is a life that's really repetitive. If companies always hires people with technical skills can be learned, but there are other skills that no one can learn pretty much. You need to develop that. And these are the skills that Ashoka talks about, which is empathy, which is teamwork, as I mentioned, which is change-making skills, which is new leadership. These are the new games that people need to understand, that if you really don't want to get to a place where, which I think we're almost there, where people always clash, people always fight, people always feel like, I'm behind, this one is taking whatever. But we need to thrive together. It's not, and for everyone to do that, you have to really master those new skills of empathy, of change-making, of leadership, new leadership, and also of teamwork, which is collaboration. That's the new game. So for a company to be able to be successful, the next generation of leaders need to understand that, meaning the next CEO, the next managing director need to understand that, because the world is changing constantly. So what you're dealing with today is not what you're dealing with tomorrow. So families need to understand that the way we do parenting today is not the way we're going to be doing parenting tomorrow. We leaders of unions, the way we're teaching, we need to look at it as well. The way we're collaborating, the way we're cohabitating, religion, all of those things really requires these four skills. Empathy, how do we live together? Teamwork, how do we work together? Change making, how do we challenge the status quo? New leadership, how do you solve those things together?
Yeah, so how do we use this new game to deal with the problem or the challenge of inequality, which is obviously with us?
Yeah, so the new inequality is really the new reality. And the new inequality is always the them versus us. It's always us versus them. That's the new equality, because you realize that, oh, they have, they don't have. So always there is one group blaming the other group. It's either it's in religion, either it's in economy, either in social goods. Whatever it is, it's the new equality. We always pointing fingers to them. So the question is, how do we strive together? How do we work together? How do we collaborate together? And that new game and new reality is really based on this, being ahead of the game by mastering those four skills that we mentioned. The four skills are definitely empathy. One, how do I treat you? How do I deal with you? How do I look at you? And empathy really comes to be based in trust, getting to know each other. And again, to repeat it again, is really teamwork, collaboration. How do we work together? How do we really put aside our differences and come together with what brought us together? What are our goals? What are we trying to achieve? Change making. Change needs to happen, and it's happening every second. So how do we keep up with change? By getting young people, by getting CEOs, by getting companies to understand that, we have to really since change is creating every day, we have to come up with new solutions. We always need to work to create new solutions. And once the good solutions are not created by one person, because solutions to create community problems, to solve community problems, then communities and leaders need to come together. So this is really what we need to do to face it. And that's what Ashoka is doing. We just launched it in Nigeria, the national Everyone a Change Maker Nigeria, which means that we're building a core team from Ashoka staff members, and then from our core leaders, from any allies, champions, companies, and so we now have the young change makers who are really also co-leading, because young people need to co-lead with us. They need to work with adults. They need to be treated as equal partners. And then you go to the next generation of leaders. Who are the next CEOs of companies, of media, of publishers? How do we share stories? How do we educate in our school? How do we inspire them to be more positive or more impactful? That's really how we address the new games. And that's why we invite everybody to be part of this historic moment of really creating and building Everyone a Change Maker movement, where everyone creates a solution to a problem.
Okay, we'll get to how everyone can be a part of it or can reach out to you. But you had your launch on Wednesday. Do you have other events? I think you have something in July.
Yes. So the next step definitely is that we'll be going first in the next few weeks and so on months. We'll be going to what we call the metro areas. So the metro areas is that we'll be launching the same thing in Lagos as we just did. You said we'll be doing it in Port Harcourt, we'll be doing it in Abuja, in Kaduna, in Yola. And then from there, as well, we'll really try to gain a bigger momentum by building a bigger network of collaborators, bringing more people to call it. And we'll bring a faith-based communist organization, faith-based organization, community-based organization. Will bring companies to become change makers, which is what you were asking, really change makers companies who are not only working on generating revenue, which is important, and profit, but also solving problems of their own clients, their own communities. So we'll bring them. We'll bring also entrepreneurs, diaspora leaders. And why are we doing all of these things? Because we want this movement to be self-sustainable. And the only way the movement can be self-sustainable is when everybody leads. And then in July, we have what we call Impact Africa. The Impact Africa Summit is really a summit where we highlight the most innovative solutions in the world and in Africa, where we'll bring also leaders from all over the world, innovators from all over the world, companies from all over the world to come in Nigeria for 2 to 3 days, really to showcase the best solutions that are happening in the world in different sectors. You name it, climate change, health, youth employment, social innovation, education, you name it. So they will be here in July from the 25th to the 26th. But before we get to that, we'll be getting to the metro areas, like I mentioned, to Kaduna, to Port Harcourt, to Enugu, and so on.
All right. Do people need to register for these events, or they just come on, go to your website or something?
So yes, they can register, but they also can reach out to anyone from the Ashoka network. We have our Africa head office here in Lagos. We have our regional director, who's Josephine Enzerom. So anybody can reach out to Josephine. They can reach out to any other colleagues as well we have here. So their contacts will be shared. They can find it on the website. And also they can reach out to the young change makers. They can reach out to partners like we've been working with the Minister of Education. We've been working with Trace TV, with Lantern Book, and you name it. And our Ashoka fellows, you can reach out to them. So anybody can reach out to any of our partners or Ashoka or the staff of Ashoka to be part of this event.
All right. Thank you so much, Pap Sam, Global Vice President of Ashoka. We wish you the best in your lineup of events and as you try to make everyone a change maker. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. Have a good day.